We have another issue that we'd like to get to that's important for a number of Americans, in particular younger voters, and that's climate change.
Human-caused climate change.
Caused by climate change.
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 Climate change is the most pressing issue facing our planet today, and with time working against us, the time for action is now. Climate change is the result of greenhouse gases being trapped in the atmosphere for extended periods of time, and the two most influential greenhouse gases are carbon dioxide and methane.
You know, we're actually seeing the consequences now already, so it's not even in the not too distant future. What's happening is because we're changing the overall radiative balance of the Earth, we're making the atmosphere warmer.
Though methane has a shorter lifespan in the atmosphere than carbon dioxide, it's 80 times more potent. The second highest source in the United States of methane is enteric fermentation. What's that? That's when cows burp and fart.
Cattle are the main contributor to methane emissions among other animals that are farmed.
With the dairy and cattle industries ever growing in the United States, what could possibly be done? Well, it turns out there is something. Asparagopsis taxiformis is a species of red seaweed that is found in wild underwater ecosystems that are hard to get to. What on earth can a species of seaweed do to combat the monstrous problem that is methane emissions? Well, scientists worldwide have discovered that when only 1 to 2% of a cow's diet is made up of asparagopsis, their individual methane emissions can drop by an average of 50% in dairy cows, all the way up to 97% in beef cattle. There are worries among cattle farmers, rightfully so, about whether or not feeding cattle red seaweed can hurt dairy production or meat quality. The good news for farmers is that across many experiments that have been done on cows, there are extremely minimal to no negative effects on cows' milk production and meat quality. Asparagopsis isn't the only feed additive that's been found to reduce methane from cows, though. A relatively newly grown organic compound called 3-nitroxypropanol, or 3-NOP, has also been found to reduce the methane emissions from cows by 30 to 40%.
So the reduction with 3-NOP, there is a commercial name called Bovaer. It's approved actually in the US and Europe now. The reduction is about 30%. Red seaweed Asparagopsis can reach a reduction 90%, but it all depends on the dose, how much you feed to the animal. And if you feed, in fact, significant amounts, the animal doesn't like it, so feed intake drops down, and there are a lot of other consequences of this.
It needs to be understood what it takes to produce these additives, you know, what energy and other resources need to go in to produce these at a very large scale. You know, obviously, you know, health of the animals and so on. So it's really a matter of balancing all those different effects.
There are programs, most notably the Greener Grazing Project in Australia, that have made it their mission to develop red seaweed in a sustainable fashion that will lead to mass production to supply cattle farms worldwide. They have worked to create methods that can best benefit the seaweed and the ecosystems they're grown in as well.
Alternative feed solutions for ruminants are definitely a critical area of research in the fight against climate change, right? So while additives like red seaweed or seaweed in general holds pretty good promise, it's not a silver bullet, right? So we have to be analyzing other angles of attack on climate change. So this could be integrating the solutions with other sustainable agricultural practices. So improved grazing management, selective breeding, better waste handling. All these play a part in kind of creating a comprehensive strategy.
This final message is for President Trump and Congress. The statistics have been laid out and the pros heavily outweigh the cons. The clock is ticking and climate change isn't going anywhere unless initiative is taken to slow it down. Feed additives are an almost untouched on topic in the United States and not much can be done without you. People listen to you, and what I'm asking you to do is make sustainable feed additive farming in the United States at the top of the agenda at the Department of Agriculture. There's no better time than now.